My 24 male, parents 49 male, 49 female, disowned me 5 years ago for false accusations. Now they want to talk. English isn't my first or second language, I'm sorry. I am bisexual. When that happened, I was still in the closet and didn't tell anyone about my exing our relationship. My ex and my family were my whole world. I thought I had a good relationship with my parents. I had inside jokes with my dad, shared hobbies with my mom. I also had a good relationship with my sister 10 at the time. I didn't drink, smoke, or be late most nights. I wasn't perfect, but I wasn't that troubled teenager of a boy that didn't even deserve to be effing heard. In the summer, my ex and I planned a sleepover at his parents' house. I know it was a stupid decision to sleep at his parents' house when no one knew about our relationship, but I was 19, stupid, and hormonal. His parents heard us, and his father entered the room and beat my ex-boyfriend when he tried to hit me. His wife grabbed him, and I quickly grabbed my clothes and ran away and went to my home. In the evening of the next day, my father entered my room and grabbed my hair while my mother was crying and telling me if I had roped my little sister as well. I didn't understand what she was saying, and I told her, of course I didn't rope her, but my father said that I was just a mistake and dragged me out of the house and told me that if I didn't run away from him now as I ran away from my victim house yesterday, he will turn himself into the police because he will be murdering me. I tried to call my ex-boyfriend to make sure he was okay, but he didn't answer. When I called my grandmother, she told me I should be ashamed of myself and I should surrender myself to the police, and that she would support me if I did this. I tried to ask her what was happening, but she said that she couldn't bear to hear my voice and hung up the phone. I went to the house of my close friend Angel. She wasn't at home, but her father was, I call him Uncle David. I did not plan to talk to him, but I could not stand it and cried in front of him. He listened to me and assured me that I had a place in his house and to not worry. The next day, my Uncle David sat me down and told me that he had spoken to my father, and he told him that I had roped my ex-boyfriend and forced him to do things he didn't want to do. Had it not been for his parents discovering us, I would continue the rope. I was shocked and showed him the messages that were between us. I don't remember what happened, but I was crying hysterically, and Angel was holding me and my uncle calling the ambulance. After I got out of the hospital, we spoke with a lawyer and reached an agreement with my ex-boyfriend that he would confess to my family that it was a lie. Otherwise, I will file a defamation case. All the evidence was against my ex-boyfriend, and he accepted. But it wasn't enough for my parents because they sent me a legal disowned letter. I will spare you from the details, but know that I am fine now. 2 days ago, my parents sent me a long message asking to talk. They said my sister died and they wanted me at the funeral on Friday. And to talk, I told them to F off and to give the funeral location. They told me either I talk to them or they won't give me the time. Location? I want to see my little sister, but I don't want to see my parents. The thought of them only makes me sick. What did I do wrong to deserve this? Be gay. Edit. I couldn't find my sister's death record online as some suggested, but I spoke to my aunt, and she assured me that my sister had died. I asked her about the location of the funeral, but she refused to tell me. I see a lot of comments saying they are lying about my sister's death. I don't think they are. I have nothing. I'm not successful. I don't own my own company or my own home. I don't even have kids. About my ex. When my ex-boyfriend confessed, he said that his parents wanted to kick him out and stop paying his college fees, so he told them that I had raped him, and he wanted to report me to the police to shut his father up. But his father told him not to do that, so he thought his parents dropped it. He didn't expect his parents to go and talk to my parents. The update. This happened 2 weeks ago. After the post and talking to my aunt and uncle, I decided to meet my parents. I didn't have much time until the day of the funeral, and I didn't want to miss it. Many of you advised me not to go, but I hope you understand my position. She is my only sister. I know that she has changed and isn't the same person anymore. But I was going to say goodbye to that child that I remember, not the person she is now. On Wednesday evening, I told David about my decision. I didn't need to ask him if he could come with me or not. He beat me to it and said he would go with me. I asked Angel and another dear friend of mine, and they accepted. I spoke to the same lawyer who handled my rope allegations. I asked him to supervise my meeting with my parents. I did not expect him to accept, but surprisingly he did. He tried to confirm my sister's death, but unfortunately, due to lack of time, he couldn't. On Thursday morning, I spoke to my parents and told them that I would meet them this evening, but on my own terms. 1. I will have a lawyer, and we will meet at a law firm. 2. Half an hour after our meeting, my parents will give me the funeral location, or I will leave. My parents tried to argue, but I put my foot down and they agreed to my terms. When I got to the law firm and saw my parents for the first time in years, they smiled at me and waved like nothing had happened. After they sat down, the lawyer started recording the meeting, and introduced himself before mentioning my first and new last name. My father disowned me, and I legally lost my last name. I heard my new last name a lot in the past 5 years, but in that moment, it felt real. I don't know how to describe it, but the realization that I was actually disowned hit me. I feel that my parents felt the same way because the joy on their faces disappeared after hearing my name. After the lawyer finished explaining everything, the meeting started and my parents spoke to me as if the past 5 years had not happened. I was disgusted when my mother tried to hold my hand, but I pulled away. My parents didn't say anything worth mentioning. After half an hour, my lawyer asked my parents to give me the funeral location. My father said that when the family goes through difficult circumstances, they support each other. My friend interrupted him and told him my new last name. My parents seemed devastated, but my mother continued and said, "Do you know those feelings that you felt when you heard the news of your sister's death? I will feel them soon." I was confused and asked her, "What does this have to do with the funeral location?" My lawyer spoke and asked my parents if my sister died or not. My father tried to change the subject, but my lawyer repeated the question and my father said no. "You guys were right. It was a lie. My sister didn't die. The writing was on the effing wall, but I couldn't see it. Nothing written in the message was real." After my father told me that my sister wasn't dead, my body felt very heavy, and I couldn't breathe. That's all I remember. I was told that I looked like a ghost. My lawyer tried to talk to me, but I didn't respond, so he decided to end the meeting, but my father objected and started yelling at me. I tried to run, but I fell and started vomiting excessively before I passed out on the floor. I feel like an idiot. I can't believe I fell for this lie. I kept telling myself that my parents wouldn't lie to me about this. We're not in a TV show or a movie. I kept telling myself that Uncle, who hates family drama, wouldn't get involved in something like this. I can't believe they did this to my sister. For F's sake, I am their son. When my dad told me that he was going to kill me, I never thought he would do it, but now I'm not sure. I don't know who my parents are anymore. I don't even know why they lied. After the meeting, they sent me a message asking if I was okay. They didn't apologize or even give me any explanation whatsoever. I filed a restraining order against my parents and anyone who was involved, including my uncle and aunt. Some of my relatives contacted me and swore to me that they had nothing to do with what was happening and that they thought that my parents were going to talk to me about my grandmother's illness and her desire to see the family together. Some of them even sent me medical reports proving her illness and her wanting to see me. But I don't want to see her or any of my family members ever again. When my ex confessed his lies, she didn't believe my ex. She said I pressed my ex legally to lie about not being assaulted by me, and I should stop lying and confess, so everyone can move on. What hurt me the most was that she wanted to fix me. She was sending me places that treat assaulters and Me Too stories until I gave up and blocked her. The police were called on my parents. My sister is currently living with one of my relatives, and no, I didn't talk to her. My therapist advised me not to. I currently live with Uncle David. I feel safe near him. He helped me a lot without question or hesitation. He even took care of my pet bird for free. I owe him, Angel and my friend, a lot. Even in my teenage years before this happened, they were always by my side. I don't think I would have survived without them. I hope my sister has the same support too. I don't know why my parents resorted to lying about my sister, and I don't think I want to know. I lost what little respect I have for them.